refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And today, we are doing our week in review this week in college basketball, March 2nd to March 8th. Before we get into it, I'd like to say, man, shout out yesterday, man. Went 6-1 on the Pick'ems. Can't lie, my one loss was the Purdue-Wisconsin game, and I show it to you right here. I had Wisconsin written down. I had them for the upset. What made me change it was I forgot Nolan Winter got hurt versus Maryland. And then when I looked up the injuries, I seen it. And I was like, oh, yeah, he did get hurt versus Maryland. So I changed it because of the Nolan Winter injury, which he did not play. From Wisconsin, from Wisconsin to Purdue because of the Nolan Winter injury. But it is what it is. We still went 6-1. Could have went 7-0 with 2 dogs, but we got one. We got the Vanderbilt joint. So shout out to Vandy for getting that done. But yeah, so my pick'em is currently 55-34. Man, it was at a point in time where we was 39-33, and now we picked it up and gone 55-34. Hopefully we can remain this hot because the pick'em is done for the moment until tournament time because I'm picking bracket winners, so I'm not doing daily games anymore for the current moment. Maybe I might do some here and there. I might pop in, pop out. But for as of right now, the pick'em is on hold until tournament time, both NIT and NCAA. So regular season, we finished 55-34. So I'm happy with that. But anyway, this week in college basketball, let's get started with shouting out some regular season winners. These are guys that clinched their conference championship in terms of the regular season. Not the tournaments yet. That will be announced later on at the end of the episode. But first, we got the Miami, Red Hawks. They finished the season 31-0 and clinched their first MAC title since 2005, beating Ohio in a building where they haven't won in 15 years in overtime. So shout out to them. And real quick, I do want to talk about that actually, since that was a big point. So at the end of the game, Miami of Ohio, they, did some things. They're talking to the fans. They're flicking the fans off the University of Ohio. And a lot of people made a big mess about it on Twitter. But me, I actually watched the game. And I remember a little bit later in the second half, I think it was like 6 minutes left. They had to stop the game while Miami of Ohio was going to the free throw line because a fan threw something at their head coach, Travis Steele. So, in my mind, players don't forget that. You're on the road, rivalry game, intense rivalry game, trying to win it all. And in the midst of that, fans is throwing stuff at my coach. Yeah, I'm going to feel some type of way about that. So, I wasn't mad at them personally. Hey, y'all want to throw stuff at my coach? We beat y'all, da-da-da. I mean, some people ain't like it, but now if it was just on some regular, the game went regular, we won, then they did that, I'm like, all right, cool, maybe a little uncalled for. But you throwing stuff at my coach. So, I mean, at this point, I ain't mad at them. But shout out to them, finishing 31-0. First MAC team to have a undefeated regular season. Third team in the last 35 years to finish undefeated in the regular season. And again, their first MAC championship since 2005. Now they're looking to try to win a MAC conference tournament championship this weekend. So shout out to them. And we'll move on to the next one. I know I spent a little time on that regular season champ, but there was a lot to talk about with them. We got Florida. Florida wins the SEC title. It's been the first time in a long time. First time, I think, since Billy Donovan, I believe in 2014. I'm not sure, all the way sure on that. But last year, like I said, they came in second place. They were behind Auburn. This year, they win it outright. So shout out to Florida for winning the SEC championship. Next, we have Arizona. Arizona wins the Big 12 championship this week as well. Shout out to Coach Tommy Lloyd and the Wildcats for getting it done. I don't know why my computer just did that. But shout out to them. That was a great accomplishment. It was a tough league. I mean, you had Houston. They were doing well. You got Iowa State. They were in the mix for a while. Texas Tech, which they lost to BYU. But they were in the mix for a while. Kansas, which really wasn't in the mix after a while. But, yeah. Shout out to them for that. Next, we have St. John's. St. John's won outright the Big East in a shocker because I talked about shout out to you. I don't know what this is, but shout out to you. I talked about UConn and Marquette, not about the game and like breaking it down or anything or like previewing it or telling about players or anything. But that Saturday I did talk about how Marquette just needed UConn just needed to beat Marquette on the road to at least claim a share of the Big East. But Marquette upset UConn. So St. John's won it outright. Yeah, and I was right. The last time the Florida Gators won the SEC title in the regular season was 2014. So I was right about that. But yeah, shout out St. John's for winning it outright. Shout out and congratulations to Stephen F. Austin. They won the Southland outright. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Utah Valley, who won the WAC outright yesterday. So congrats to them. Congrats to UC Irvine winning the Big West outright. I figured the winner of UC Irvine, UC Sun, would win it. But Hawaii, man, at home against Long Beach State to win a share of the Big West, and you kind of get dominated. Can't lie. It was very surprising. But shout out to the Anteaters for winning in overtime against UC Davis at home. So it was looking ugly. It looked like UC Davis might come in there and win it, but they got the job done at overtime. Appreciate you again for subscribing. I mean, not subscribing, but for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, man. But got some more winners to shout out. We got St. Louis and VCU actually tied for the A10 conference championship. St. Louis actually lost 3 of their last 6. They went 3-3 to end the last 6 games, and that's what caused VCU to tie with St. Louis. And VCU got a big win against Dayton on the road, causing them to tie for the A10, win a share of it. University of Southern Florida won the American, and I'm so happy that they won it, man. Salute to them. I hope they win the American Championship, the tournament. Yale wins the Ivy League. So shout out to Yale, an Ivy League powerhouse. We have Howard University, DC, wins the MEAC. So shout out to them. Utah State beat New Mexico Saturday, like I predicted, to win the Mountain West. San Diego State did handle business against UNLV on Friday, but unfortunately, they needed New Mexico to beat Utah State for a 3-way tie. But Utah State won it outright. And East Tennessee State University, my lord, won the SoCon championship. And they actually narrowly escaped, which I feel like I announced that they won it before, so I might have been talking about this twice, but they just narrowly escaped Western Carolina to advance to the SoCon championship. I think they take on Furman. Yeah, they take on Furman. They take on Furman, who beat UNC Greensboro by 6 in regulation, which that game was UC Greensboro had them in the first half and midway through the second half, but Furman came back. But those are all your regular season championship winners. Now, we got some other storylines here. Auburn needed to, I think they needed to win just to be considered. the Iron Bowl against Alabama on the road, but they got dominated. Alabama won the Iron Bowl. They ended up winning by 12, but they were up a ton throughout the entirety of the game. To me, again, I have a short about this, but Auburn is out. Just because you beat LSU early in the week with the way you've been playing lately doesn't mean you're in. I'm sorry. I'm out on Auburn. Auburn will have to, at this point, win the SEC championship, the title, SEC tournament championship, in my opinion, to be in the big dance, which they won't. But that's how it is for me. Tennessee loses at home to Vanderbilt. Vandy won at Rocky Top for the first time since 2017. And again, I think the Nate Amon. Well, I will say I think the Nate Amon injury obviously has something to do with it, but Amari Evans had a big game. So he did have a big game, but Vandy just came and got it done. TCU ends the regular season winning 5 straight, beating Cincinnati, which should safely, in my opinion, put TCU in the tournament. The way they've been playing last February, winning 5 straight. Again, wins against Iowa State. A win against Texas Tech. So I think they should be in. Them and Cincy, that was a huge resume game for both of them, and for TCU to win and win by double digits. That was huge. Marquette upsets UConn, which I talked about, again, costing UConn a share of the Big East title. And Louisville actually did 2 things that they could not do this year, and very effectively, I should say. They won on the road against a ranked Miami Hurricanes with no Michael Brown. So shout out to them for that, getting that done. That was a big, big win for them to end the season. NC State ends the season losing 6 of their last 7 games. And now their NCAA tournament resume is in question. Now, is it as in question as Auburn? No, but it is starting to be in question. And I think rightfully so, to be honest. Wisconsin upsets Purdue on senior night. Talked about that already. Ohio State blows out Indiana. I had Ohio State winning that game on senior night, and they blow out Indiana. I think, honestly, the way Ohio State's been playing down the stretch, they should be in the tournament. I would love to see Bruce Thornton and John Mobley in the tournament, getting buckets, causing havoc for teams. I think that this should help them get in. They should be in over Auburn. I say that. Definitely say that. And like I said, BYU upsets Texas Tech on senior night. To get the job done there. And lastly, Oklahoma wins the Red River rivalry against Texas. For those who don't know what that is, and they end the year on a 4-game win streak. So I don't think Oklahoma should go dance, in my opinion. But they're ending the season hot. They're going to play early in the SEC tournament. Can they win a couple games in the SEC tournament? Maybe sway some judges, voters, whatever you call them. But they definitely did that there. So shout out to Oklahoma for that. Now, we are going to talk about some people that punched their tickets, because we do have some tickets punched. And we're going to first start with the first team to punch their ticket. Winners, well, they didn't win the NEC Conference Tournament Championship yet. They actually played for that, I believe, on Wednesday. But Mercyhurst beat Stonehill, and Mercyhurst is ineligible to make the NCAA tournament due to just transferring up, which I think if they're not eligible to make the tournament, they shouldn't be in the tournament, because like that sucks for those kids to go through the tournament, win it, and yeah, you get the ring, you get the championship for winning that tournament, but you don't get the ultimate goal, which is to go compete in a 68-man battle royale or gauntlet to see who holds up the trophy at the end. Is if they win, if Mercyhurst beats LIU. Does Mercyhurst win it all? No. But at least they get to watch, they get to play on national television in front of millions of people. And big dance, that's something you'll never forget for the rest of your life. And because of a stupid rule, they could win on Wednesday, and it still won't happen for those seniors. So I'm disappointed in that rule. I've been talking about it for a while. Again, I've always bring up the Bellarmine or Bellarmine situation where they won. I want to say they beat Eastern Kentucky in the ASUN and won the ASUN tournament or whatever. I want to say that's the ASUN tournament, and they couldn't go. And they haven't been to a conference tournament championship since. Haven't won it, so it sucks for that rule. I hate that rule. I really do. I know hate is a strong word, but I do hate that rule. If you're playing a D1 schedule, if you're in a D1 conference, if you can compete in a D1 conference tournament, you should be able, off bucks, and that's in football too, to compete for a bowl game in football, a conference championship in football, or to compete in the big dance in college basketball. But LIU has So when they beat dang, I can't even remember who they beat. But when they won the semifinal game, I think it was Wagner. Yeah, when they beat Wagner, they punched their ticket to the big dance. So shout out LIU, who is my conference tournament pick, one of the ones that made it. Because man, my conference tournament picks been getting knocked out in crazy ways, whether it's a blowout or a 3-point shot against the buzzer where the clock didn't start on time. Anyway, we'll move forward. Next, Tennessee State. Tennessee State is the Ohio Valley Conference champions and tournament champ. So back, they won both of those. First time since 1994-95. Shout out head coach Nolan Smith. I said when I was picking the Ohio Valley Conference that I wanted to go with Tennessee State. I love the story. Nolan Smith is from the crib. They're hot. They won 4 games, but I went with the hotter team in Morehead State, who won 7 games straight at the time, including beating Tennessee State in that 7-game streak. And man, did Tennessee State come out ready to ball in the finals? They look like, yeah, y'all beat us, but we want to get back. And they blew them out. So congratulations to Tennessee State. Great win. And they got 2 guys that can really go. And they got bruh from Georgetown. I forgot his name already. I think it's Deontay Harris. Something like that. But he played at Georgetown. This is last year at Tennessee State. I hate that I forgot his first name. I gotta look it up now because I feel like that's disrespectful. I gotta get his name right. But I know he played at Georgetown. I liked him at Georgetown. But yeah, shout out to them for that. Shout out Coach Nolan Smith. And I'm loving the history being made this year, man. Because again, Tennessee State made history with winning the conference championship and winning the conference tournament championship. So definitely love to see that. And Harris actually won, from what I saw, he won tournament MVP, which to me was kind of crazy. Because is it Deontay? Dante Harris, not Deontay. Dante Harris. But anyway, we'll move on. High Point, which is one of the ones I got right again, which very few, nonetheless. High Point wins the Big South Conference Tournament Championship and the Conference Championship as they beat Winthrop and by double digits in the final game. Shout out Terry Anderson and Cameron Fletcher, Rob Martin, and the High Point team for getting it done. This will be the back-to-back years that they've made the big dance. Queens University. They beat my pick, Central Arkansas, in the ASUN tournament. Cam Hunter, for my Central Arkansas pick, had 49. He finished with 49, hit a garbage 3 at the buzzer, but he still finished with 49 points. But Chris Ashby, the Queens, finished with 34 to kind of counteract that. Before the overtime started, I wanted I'm not gonna lie, I wanted Cam Hunter to go for the win. I wanted him to go aim for the 3. I wanted him to take the 3 ball. Win or lose, we win or lose on my shoulders. But he got the layup to force OT, and they just can't get it done at OT. And the last team, premature. The last team to punch their ticket to the big dance happened tonight. They beat North Dakota, North Dakota beat my pick, St. Thomas, the Tommies, because Austin Hero threw the ball away after driving to the lane and not knowing what to do with the rock. I'm still mad at Austin Hero for that. I wanted my pick to be right. But North Dakota State gets the job done, and they're going back to the NCAA tournament, winning the Summit League final. And to be honest, they kind of was in control of this game from start to finish. Now, it was close throughout the first half, but then they started pulling away. It was up double digits. North Dakota tried to make a run at the end, but North Dakota State pulled away again, and they are now Summit League tournament champs and Summit League regular season champs. So those are the 5 teams that are going dancing through the automatic qualifier so far. I think we have the Sun Belt final championship game tomorrow. Let's see. Do we have the Sun Belt? We have the SoCon championship tomorrow. So Furman and ETSU. We have the Sun Belt tomorrow. Shout out, and I know this isn't it's not over yet. But shout out Georgia Southern, man. Georgia Southern is advanced to the Sun Belt championship game, winning 5 straight games to do so. They beat Old Dominion in the second round, blew them out. They beat Arkansas State, who was my pick, by 3 in the third round. They beat South Alabama by 11 in the 4th round. They beat Coastal, blew them out in the quarterfinal yesterday, and tonight they beat Marshall by 4 in the semi. So 5 straight games to advance to the final, where they will take on the Troy Trojans, who was the Sun Belt champions in the regular season and the 1 seed into the tournament. They had one game which Troy absolutely beat Southern Miss. But that should be a game, man, because Georgia Southern is hot. And I took Georgia Southern plus the points the last 2 days, and they've been a wagon. So I might be taking the points with them. But we should have 2 more tickets punched tomorrow, the Sun Belt and the SoCon. We got some semifinals tomorrow. We got the Horizon League semis tomorrow, and we got the WCC semis tomorrow. So tickets are being punched fast. So make sure you're looking at those. But I did want to give some love to Georgia Southern for making a run. Oh, I forgot one. Let me put my banner back up here. How can I forget the UNI Northern Iowa Panthers punched their ticket today? So 6 teams. My fault. They won the Missouri Valley Conference tournament championship today, beating UIC, University of Illinois Chicago. They won that wire to wire. Trey Campbell, 4-year UNI player, monster game. 23 points, 25 points. He had most of them in the second half, hitting big time threes when they needed them. Northern Iowa is back to the dance since Paul Jesperson and Seth Tuttle and them, I think 2014. I think that was the last time they made the dance. But man, I remember being in college watching UNI, and somebody like, man, you watching UNI? Like you went too deep. But they made the dance, and I like the team. So shout out to them for that, Coach Jacobson. Man, I was happy for them because not only I'm not a UNI fan in terms of like that's my favorite team or nothing, but I watch UNI a ton. Like every year, I make it my mission to watch UNI basketball because I like watching UNI. I just like the coach. I like the way they play. And they're the first team in the Missouri Valley Conference to win 4 games in 4 days to win the tournament and make the dance through winning 4 games in 4 days. So definitely got to show love to the UNI Panthers. I can't believe I forgot to mention them on the tickets punch. So I'm gonna give them another round of applause for making the dance there. But yeah, that's a great story. I mean, again, some more history being made in this season, man. I love to see it. Definitely love to see it. I'm trying to make sure I find the actual roster because I want to bring up the names from that team that made that dance because, man, that team to me was really good. I think that's the team that ended up blowing that multiple-digit lead to Alex Caruso and Texas A&M in the tournament where that game should have been won. They should have easily had that game, and they ended up blowing it. This is the tournament. Okay, so they made the tournament 2014, 2015 with Seth Tuttle, and then lost to Louisville. The 2013, 2014 team did not make the tournament. So the Seth Tuttle team lost to Louisville by 13 in the round of 64. I forgot the round of 68 is technically the first round. What I'm trying to figure out, though, there was a team that lost to Texas A&M where they should have won. Maybe that was the team next year. This is my guy, Wes Washpun. I used to mess with Wes Washpun a ton at UNI. Yep, Wes Washpun and Paul Jesperson, the team that lost the overtime to Texas A&M. They beat Texas. They lost to Texas A&M in the next round. They shouldn't have lost. They should have made it to the Sweet 16, but they ended up blowing the game. I think this is Matt Bohannon, if I remember correctly. Yep, Matt Bohannon. Yep, that's the team. But anyway, that is all I got for y'all today. I'm sorry I just went down the memory lane, nostalgia and all that, but that is all I got for y'all today. So please like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already to the network. To the channel, excuse me. It helps the channel, helps the network. Speaking of, we are a network. So we have the main show featuring Joe Tomo and Dave. They go live Mondays and Thursdays from 7 to about 8:30. So make sure you tune in to them. We have Unfazed, who should be going live this week because we got some NBA and NFL topics. I know my Pistons about to be a topic. We just lost again, so I know we're about to be a topic. But make sure you tune in to Joe and AJ when they go live. We got the BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Teddy's been going live late, recapping the World Baseball Classic. Man, I've been feeling like I'm part Japanese watching the World Baseball Classic. I'm watching my guy, Shohei Ohtani. He ain't get a home run for me against Australia, but he hit back-to-back bombs and back-to-back 5 o'clock mornings. Feeling part Japanese. I ain't got no Japanese in my blood, but, I'm a huge Ohtani fan. So, and, I'm always repping USA as well. But My boy Schoolball, man, he got shelled first pitch, but then he responded with a 3-pitch strikeout, and the rest was history. But shout out my boy Schoolball. He's teasing y'all, by the way. I don't think he's pitching again, but he's teasing y'all with that answer. But next, we got FFC Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs. He just dropped some rankings. Be on the lookout for his episodes. Free agency actually starts in 2 days, this Tuesday. So be on the lookout for content from him. We have RBO, Real Ballers Only, featuring Vaughn, NBA show. So just be on the lookout for him whenever he drops an episode. We have Dave's Doghouse, highlights and lowlights of sport. We have In the Red Corner, who just dropped an episode today. They drop episodes on Sundays, not every Sunday, but when they do go live, it is on Sundays, and they go live around 6:30. Like I said, they just dropped the episode, so make sure you check that out. It's for all boxing episodes, for all your boxing needs. That's featuring Ty, Ricky, and Tomo. And last but not least, we have Zero Sports Talk with Griffey. Again, don't know the specifics of his channel. Just be on the lookout for episodes, and when they drop, just check them out. And like, comment, share, subscribe to those shows as well. And if you like what you're listening to, stick with us. But with that being said, I'm going to be back tomorrow for sure, because I got to make my tournament pick part 2 for all the tournaments that start this week. So they start Monday. So I think I picked 13. I think it's 31. So I think I got 18 more left to go, something around that. But I'll have my tournament picks and my reason why that drops tomorrow. And then I think after tomorrow, I'm done until Selection Sunday show, because, again, there's no individual games beyond the tournaments. The regular season is over. So I'm going to make my picks, see what they do, and then we'll have our Selection Sunday show featuring a special guest. I had to make sure that he's still good to go. I have not checked in with him again, but hopefully he's able to go Sunday, and that should be fun, man. We have a bracket in less than 7 days. I mean, it's Monday now, so about 6 and some change. We got a bracket. So y'all enjoy the Santa Clara Pacific game that's on right now, if you choose to. If not, enjoy the rest of your night, and I'm gone. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.